How's it going, everyone? Soul Tigress with some short stories for 3 wonderful communities. First up, we're going to have Libra, which was brought in with the 4 of Swords. Then we have Leo, which was brought in with the 7 of Wands. And then we have Aquarius, which is brought in with the Queen of Swords and the 3 of Swords. And to go ahead and clarify that on if it was Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra, but leaning more towards feminine energy, I pulled a few more cards and it was clarified with the Temperance and the 3 of Cups. So a lot of water energy, which brings me back to our bearer of water, which is the Aquarius. So let's go ahead and check out what's going on with Libra. Libra with the 4 of Swords coming out to represent you this time around. This tells me that there's something that you're still stuck on, something that you haven't been able to move forward from. So let's go ahead and ask your angels, ancestors, and spirit guides to go ahead and give us some clarity to that. And what we have is the impasse. Impasse is something that happens. It's kind of like not a natural block, even though I want to say a natural block, but it's just something of just the way things kind of work out. It's kind of like you want to keep going forward on something, but there's a dead end. So you can't keep moving forward on something. There's nowhere to move forward to going in that direction. And then we have some confusion on isolation. So first off with impasse, we have the sacral chakra. Definitely could be some fear of change here. Then we have isolation. Isolation's going to be our throat chakra. Is there something that you're kind of shying away from, that you have a fear of speaking upon, speaking to, speaking with? And the last card that comes out is grief. Something again that we haven't put down. Something that we're entangled in, especially when it comes to our heart chakra energy. There's something that we haven't let be put to a full rest. And that's pretty hard here, because then that tells me with the heart chakra, if you're still tied down in one area, then you're not fully open yet. You could still be judging books by their covers, in a sense. You could still be blocking yourself off because you are reliving the pain. You haven't, again, let it go. You haven't been able to move forward. You haven't found the, what I'm hearing is the conclusion with whatever you're holding on to. This is also, I feel like you're confused because you're not seeing how you've isolated yourself off. You could be isolating yourself off to try and protect yourself. That could be something right here. But what you don't know is at the same time, you are not allowing anything new to enter your life or for you to go off to anywhere new. So let's go ahead and get a deeper understanding to what's going on with this stuff. What is the plot behind the impasse? Yeah, Page of Swords here. Page of Swords is often looking off into a new direction. You're confused on how to go into a new direction. How to start all over again. And it's not starting from the very beginning of, say, the Fool, but we're coming in at the Page. So this is coming in with that younger view. Remember, I was just mentioning that you could be judging some books by their covers. This kind of makes me feel like that's what it is. Then we have a 7 of Swords here. Something that you want to hide away from with this impasse. You don't want to get caught up in the same kind of situations. situations where you're sacrificing too much of yourself for others. The only way you can be put into a situation like that again, Libra, is if you allow it. Remember, you are allowed to protect yourself too. You can get into the mix with some things, but you also have a right to say when you're done with it. Just because you get in the mix with it doesn't mean that you have to continue with it. I mean, there's times when we outgrow stuff all the time. So the plot for the isolation, I feel like you're trying to escape being entrapped again, but you don't realize again that you've trapped yourself. It's a lot of stuff that's happening in the mind here, Libra. Very fitting because you are an air sign. It's a lot of mental stuff that happens with air signs. But for some reason, I feel like you can't give yourself a break from this dead end of a situation that happened once before. You're always looking at it from not just one view, many views. You look at it for all the things that it hurt you. You looked at it, how you tried to focus in on it, how you tried to come in with it. You look at it from the point where you even tried to, how do I put that? Entrap yourself for it. I don't know what that means. It's like, it could be a over loyalty kind of thing. You know how you keep showing up for a job that's no good for you, or you're showing up for a partnership that in the end it wasn't really good for you, but you weren't going to give up so easily. So you basically entrapped yourself there and told yourself to stick it out and maybe one day it would get better. And it didn't work out. And again, this is something that you run away from, in a sense, that you isolate yourself from, that you close yourself off so it never can happen. You're trying to prevent it. That's what it is. What is the plot behind the grief? I say grief. How did I say it? All right, so it's the Black Newman. It's the void. It's the end. Let me get the book out so I can really word for word. Ending, there's a void. Sacrifice, I think, is one of them. It's really easy to find too. Here we go. Black Newman, keywords: void, pending, loss, corrosion. The two Newmans face their own extinction. Two branches upside down, just about to burn into the sacred fire. The world is about to spin upside down, and yet they still guard their altar, which drowns slowly into the depths. Once absorbed by the haze, their sacred nature shall depart, simple beasts once more, still with the promise of a re-encounter of the divine. The Black Newman symbolizes clinging onto a cause that may seem lost. Destruction and confusion, a challenge to faith with the knowledge that it shall return. Oof. 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 There's also something that you think time has ran out on. I know that for a fact. I think it has something to do with some of this, but I feel like it's a separate situation from this dead end. But I know when I was dialing into this frequency, I kept seeing the clock, and this clock is like going really fast with the time that's passing on it. So definitely you felt like you're either too late or you don't have enough time to do something else. And because of the anxieties from that end of what you're thinking about, you are really starting to feel the stress from what has happened before. In a sense, you could almost, Libra, have this like really good day where you're really feeling yourself, you're feeling what you want to do, you want to make it happen. But then you wake up another day and it's like things didn't happen. They're not happening. You're not having enough time to make it happen. And then you look back at the dead end like overanalyzing again from those 3 different views of you over sacrificing, you trying to entrap yourself from, but you also, you know, trying your best at the younger age that you were trying to do that. But I really focus on this Page of Swords here. I feel like you're still stuck in that mental stage back there. I don't think that you've allowed yourself to progress mentally out of this when it comes to being able to get the wisdom from the situation. You go back and forth like you did at that time when everything came to its end, when you've lost whatever it was here. Welcome to being human. This is a part of being human here. The whole thing is Libra, you are such an energy that heavily relies or resides in just kind of things. And when you work so hard for the things that you love, for the things that you're grinding for, and we have these really big justices that happen, it doesn't sit well with you. It confuses you and it makes you over harbor on this. The whole thing is, what is the just thing to do for you here in the now, in this moment? One of the things is to start to work with your mental side, with your thoughts, starting to pick up the pieces of what happened here, pick up the pieces of yourself that you've left here at this time, and not being overly criticizing of yourself. For some reason, this dead end, it happened for a reason. There is a loss that's meant to happen, but remember, just like the phoenix, you know, the phoenix has to die off in order to have its rebirth. This is the same thing here. In order for you to fully feel, Libra, what you deserve, not to just think you kind of deserve it, but to fully believe in what you deserve, you have to go through this journey. You can't sit here, I mean, you have been going around it with those 3 only views and then being extra hard on yourself. But how can you sit here and see how this changed you? This changed you. This changed your outlook. This changed what you want to do. This even changed kind of how you look at others. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. What it is it changed you to want to protect yourself and not leave yourself open to every Tom, Dick, and Harry, as they would say. So let's go ahead and ask the angels. Angels, angels, angels. What is the past self advice for Libra? Past self advice for Libra. We have the garden and the gate. You don't see this. You've never seen this. For some reason, you don't give yourself permission to see this. You've only seen the side where everything was in turmoil. It could have been how you were doing things wrong, the mistakes you made. It could have even been spending too much time here and feeling like you missed opportunities in the past. But whatever happened here was meant to help you bloom. was meant to help you open the gates to your bounty, to who you are, the kind of person that you are at the core. That's what I get from that one. But you have to open those gates. You have to give yourself permission to see it, Libra. And then for the present self-advice, I have the 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel. And that 7th chakra is going to be the crown chakra. Unity of consciousness, inner wisdom, spiritual connection, enlightenment. But you have to give yourself permission. You have to work out of this disconnecting with yourself, the confusion about it, the lack of feeling like, there wasn't, somehow this wasn't meant, and that it was just, it could have been taking it out on yourself kind of thing. Also the depressed energy around it. Let's talk about Archangel. Let me see. Uriel. Let's see. Archangel Uriel. Oh, it's all written in light colors. Let's see. I didn't get my glasses this time. Okay, so crown chakra right here. The utmost wisdom, who gave people alchemy, knowledge. This angel is the angel of salvation. One can obtain intellectual insight, practical solutions, and creative abilities by addressing this archangel. I like that, the insights. There's something here that we need to ask for insights. I mean, you can directly start to connect with the angel frequency. You can connect with the divine frequency and ask for patience. Ask for patience in this lesson with yourself and with how you feel. Ask them for help. Ask them for understanding. But you have to be open when those little moments where you're given signs to show you the different lessons that you learned from this. The reason why I say that is the signs, the lessons can come in even the little smallest things. The smallest things. And a lot of people don't recognize that. A lot of people don't see how sometimes them going and putting up a block for others was them trying to protect themselves. Yes, now that we're more grown, we're going to say, oh, well, now you shouldn't do that, We have a different view. Okay, but the view back then and the way that you knew how to go about it was this way. And that's okay. That is okay, because now in the present, you've learned something else. And now we want to go about it a little bit differently. So how can we see it from the view of not taking it personal, in a sense, even though it was really personal, but the view of wanting to learn from it, learn a little bit more about ourselves. That's the main thing right there. And that's going to come at connecting again. Connecting with your angels, connecting with that divine energy. Asking for patience and understanding. There is a Garth Brooks song that's called Unanswered Prayers. Beautiful song. This country singer in the song talks about how he used to wish for certain things, certain outcomes when he was younger, but so much time later, things changed. His outcomes changed, and he is much more happier with what he had now opposed to what he was wishing for back then. Keep that in mind too. Again, the song is called Unanswered Prayers by Garth Brooks. So, angels, ancestors, what is the future advice for Libra? What is the future advice? Future advice kind of comes into the now. 4th chakra, Archangel Raphael. So the future advice for yourself is you need to be present. You need to be present in this moment with yourself. It is time to start healing. It's time to let go of the bitterness. It's time to let go of the anger. It's time to let go of the jealousy, the lack of empathy. And the lack of empathy is where you usually want to put the blame on yourself or whoever. But the heart chakra here with Raphael is here to help heal. The heart chakra can help heal all the other chakras, bringing things that were out of balance back into balance. But you have to give yourself permission to recognize who you are. You have to give yourself permission to let this go finally, and to be okay with letting it go. Asking for help as well, because you have guided angels, you have guided energies, you have guided ancestors, you have guided spirit guides. You know, I feel like our guides have guides as well. You have a lot of energy here to back you up. And there's one thing that I feel like the Archangel Uriel really wants to voice here, is you being able to open the gate to yourself. Open the gate to what you've been building, how you've been going about it, who you really are, what your intentions are when you wake up. What kind of person you want to be, the kind of person that you have been being, again, because this Libra, again, really resides in trying to be just, trying to have this fairness for others and fairness for themselves. All right, so this is going to conclude it. Thank you for your patience, Libra. I hope you enjoyed this short story. Don't forget to thank your angels, ancestors, and spirit guides and divine and universal energy for coming in and helping out. And I hope that you have a most wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. All right, Leo, let's get started. So let's think about it. Let's think about it. Let's think about it. Leo, Seven of Wands, Seven of Wands, Seven of Wands. Kind of feeling like we're out on a journey. Maybe we're out on ourselves, or maybe we're feeling blocked from something. Maybe we feel like there's something that's too big to conquer. Let's see, what is it, angels, ancestors, spirit guides, that needs to come out for the Leo community? First one is enlightenment, and we have enlightenment coming here with the solar plexus chakra, that personal power chakra. What else needs to come out for the present? Oh, look at that. All right, so we have insecurity that was tucked away here for the root chakra, as well as discovery in reverse for root chakra, and self-worth. So 3 out of the 4 cards were flipped to where we couldn't see what was going on, and only one of them was only going to let us know what's up right away. So let's see. We have a lot of anxiety, insecurity, and fear here. We could be having some sleepless nights for a Leo. A Leo struggling personally with themselves, emotionally. Could have even iced themselves off from themselves in a way here. There's definitely something that they don't want to feel. A little bit out of a distance with what you want to feel. With this discovery though, I'm a little confused on this discovery. Does this discovery have to do with somebody else that you think about a lot? Maybe there is a past regret in particular, and you haven't been able to move past it yet. We talk about this a lot for the Leo community. Definitely, Leo, this frequency always harbors on particularly their mistakes that they've made with others. Mistakes that they wish they could go back and maybe do a little bit something different. I'm wondering if that's what's happening here, Leo. You definitely feel out on your own, though. That's what I feel. But what I see here is the only thing that you will keep company with is the insecurities, in a sense. That's the one thing that's the loudest to you. The thing that is the most quiet to you, though, the thing that you barely hear, is that connection in a sense with the divine. Like the divine sees you. For some reason, you could feel like you're already judged from the divine. That could be from your God, from whatever that you believe in. The only thing I think that is judging you is your own insecurity. However, this negative energy plays off of it. Because, I mean, a negative energy is kind of like a parasite. It needs a host. And the longer you let it stay, the more it infests you. So there's something here that's definitely made its home in you when it comes to your insecurity and feeling like you're already been judged. So the plot for enlightenment first comes out with the 9 of Cups here. You're not feeling successful. You're not feeling fulfilled. What is the plot for the self-worth? Self-worth is a 9 of Wands. In reverse. There's something that you could have lost in particular. It's something that's not tied to your energy anymore. For some reason, whatever's not tied to your energy anymore really, really affects how you feel about yourself. Now, the plot for the discovery is the 8 of Cups. I just look at that for discovery. Look at, we have this ghost-like person here. For this one, see how it's a shadow of a person? Both in reverse. There's something here that you haven't been able to walk away from. It could be something that you haven't been able to reconciliate with. Make amends kind of energy. Say how you feel, how you really feel now. And then what is the plot behind the insecurity? Plot behind the insecurity. Ooh. We got a little tishy here. Plot behind the insecurity. We have a 7 of Cups here. This 7 of Cups touches on a man holding the coin in reverse. something happened. Something happened, and it definitely makes you feel like you don't have much. There's something here that was lost. It's gone, it's walked away, it's somewhere else. It is somewhere else. And this being somewhere else, it almost leaves you feeling naked in a sense, vulnerable, that kind of vulnerability. And it makes you feel less about the things that you have around you. That's what that says right there. Like I said, there's a big wanting to be distant with the emotions. That's a big one, because we go 9 of Cups into the 8 of Cups to the 7 of Cups. What is that? Almost like 30 something cups here? No, not quite. Almost like 20 something cups. Yeah. I've said this before, Leo. I think we've talked about this in the last story. Is going and finding a community. A community to help teach you about the different things that happen to people in life. Because I feel like you feel out on your own with this one. I feel like you're not forgiving yourself for not knowing what you would do instead. Because it was a different time. I can just say the past time was always a different time compared to now. I strongly still suggest finding that community. It could be a church group. It could be, actually leaning on family. Because I'll tell you what, Leos are pretty secretive. They don't like to talk about their problems like that. This could be something that, you start to talk about a little bit. One thing that is good when you start to bring stuff up, when you start to talk about it, is you can learn about others and how they have had similar situations to this. I would tell you, Leo, right away, let me tell you, you're not the first one to make this mistake. Whatever this mistake is, whatever this regret is, you're not the first one to make it. This has been made many a times by others. This is a part of being human. This is a part of your test. This is a part of your trials into you learning about yourself. Now, when we have these hard lessons like this and we can't find the lesson in it, that's when we hold on to it. And that's again when it starts to fester that negative energy in us. That's when we start to feel incompleted. That's when we start to feel like we're not worth much. That's when we start to feel whatever we do isn't worth much. So you're showing up, you're still trying, but this is still weighing on you. Give yourself permission to start to unpack this and start to work through it. It could be one of the things that you realize that you were just being human about. And whoever this is, if they can't understand it, that's on them. To each their own. Maybe they were meant just to teach you a really big lesson in your life, regardless of the type of relationship that you have with them. So let's go ahead and go into the past self advice. What is the past self advice? All right. Let's see. Hold on really quick. I have had many missed calls. I got a child that's freaking out right now. What if I was dying right now? See, I have my child tell me that they're dying right now. And I gotta tell them, are you? Hold on. Thank you for your patience. Yeah, single mother of 2 kids, and I got both of them trying to hit me up. I got 5 missed calls, text messages coming in left and right from work. Oh, and I want to get another job. All right, so as we wait for my first one to respond if they're dying or not, let me double check and make sure they haven't. They just want me to pick them up. Take bus. Don't die. I guess one missed the way. Anyway, so the advice for the past self here, Leo. I have a man holding a heart in reverse and walking away. I don't know if you've ever been present for when I was doing some of the mythology behind the Leo. One of the things that's talked about in the mythology is not just the Greek mythology with it, but the several stories. There are several stories that represent the Leo frequency. And one of the things that it talks about is how Leos will self-sacrifice. They'll sacrifice a lot of themselves for others here. Right now, you're sacrificing yourself, your energetic, your soul being, your love. You know, the love that you could share with others. Right here, by over-focusing on something that you no longer have, by letting yourself or making yourself feel like you're this heartless person. You're not a heartless person. You were doing the best that you could with whatever was happening at that time. Again, you're human. And to sit there and act like everything was perfect and that you weren't stressed would be a lie. How can we walk away from feeling like you are a heartless person to help you see your worth? What is the advice for the present self? What is the advice for the present self for Leo? So for present self, we have the world. Understand that a part of being in this experience are going to be contracts. Contracts that are of caring connections. It doesn't have to be just this type of connection. It could be connections with family members, connections with co-workers. But the thing is how can you see yourself for the fact that you care so much? This bothers you because you cared so much. This was a caring connection. But again, what's being voiced here is you have to understand that this was a part of your experience. Whatever happened here was meant to happen to help you grow, to help you see who you are. Not to have these insecurities, this negative energy fest in you, because that's not all she wrote, Leo. Don't forget that. You are somebody who has a heart, and you are somebody who likes to create stability for others. Don't forget that. Maybe that was something that you were trying to do here. You're trying to balance out your stability and caring for others in your community. Because let's face it, if you look at lions, they're in a pride. It's not just themselves, and it's just not them and a few, or I should say them and just a couple of family members. No, it's a whole pride made up of many family members. So you were probably trying to do something the best way you could to help balance it for a whole community. So take time with yourself. Really take time with yourself to see that, again, this was just a part of your experience. It's not meant to break you. What is the last card for the future advice here for Leo? All tied up, something that you don't see. And it is quite, or you are quite at a distance. Think about it. Do you want to carry this on your shoulders for another 10 years? Do you want to carry it on your shoulders for another 20 years? Because if something isn't done to where you start to heal from this, then that's what's going to happen, is you're going to stay tied up with no type of resolution to what has happened in this past. Give yourself permission to take off the shackles of this past situation, to allow yourself to be free again, free to experience life to the fullest, opposed to holding yourself back. All right, Leo, this is gonna conclude it. Thank you so much for your time, your energy, and your patience. And don't forget to thank your angels, ancestors, and spirit guides for helping out with this short story, and divine and universal energy as well. Whew. And I hope you have a most wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Hey there, Aquarius. Let's go ahead and get started with your short story. What is it that needs to come out for the present? Woo, let's see what this is. Oh, something we don't want to see. Forgiveness. Some third eye energy, intuition, clarity, insight, imagination. It's possible. It's possible. We can use that imagination to help. Let's see what else. Ooh, something we don't see and we don't understand is the trickery around this. That could be what's making it hard to forgive. It could be also something that's closing off the heart chakra, creating an out of balance energy or a stuck energy, feeling bitterness, holding grudges, lack of empathy for whoever, whatever crossed our path and wasn't very respectful. Oh, that was interesting how that came out. Okay, so the last card we're not seeing and we're confused on is vanity. With this throat chakra energy here, could be having a fear of speaking up. Could be having shyness, some social anxiety that is attached to this situation. Forgiveness is always the biggest key, not to release that other person, but to release ourselves. Obviously, there is somebody here who was playing games, person, place, or thing. Whatever it was, they were definitely really cold with you. That's what I get. And it's almost like they were dangling a carrot in front of you. They were dangling something, but it wasn't sincere, nor did they have intentions of giving anything to you. They could have been dangling a promotion. Could have been dangling the idea of something. Whatever it was, they did it for their own entertainment. That's what it was. It had nothing to do about them caring about you. It was just they were doing it for their own entertainment. To watch your reactions, to watch what you would do, to see how you would react. They wanted to keep you in a spot where you couldn't speak up. You couldn't speak upon what was happening because things were so clouded around. It was so confusing, and they played off of that, and you know that they played off of that. That's what I get with all of this, and it makes me upset right here. Because you was too busy. You was trying to do what you was trying to do for you. But they kept coming in somehow. They kept coming in. You wasn't going to them. They kept coming to you to play the game. That's where the confusion happened. But I think that that's all they're good for, is an illusion. That's it. Man, and I picked this deck right here, the Sambucus deck, because this is my tight-lipped deck, and I knew there was something here that didn't want to really be spoken upon. Aquarius wouldn't want to speak upon this openly. There we go, openly. They wouldn't want to because this is too close to them. Oh, people are quick to call Aquarius energy heartless, quick to cut off. But they don't get how much it hurts when you're watching a person that you thought you could trust, a person that you thought was different from the rest, come in and try and play you like a fool. They don't understand how much that hurts because not a lot of people are really genuine when it comes to how they love from the heart. Aquarius energy is. That's why Aquariuses are cold, because they're not meant to share that with everyone, because not everyone in this world will respect it, will take care of it, will honor it, and so on. What is the plot here with the forgiveness? Angels, angels, what is the plot here with the forgiveness? What is the plot? Patience, that's the first thing. Lots of patience. I'm hearing with yourself. Two of Cups. Strength. There was a lesson that you were not going to be able to learn without this asshole. I'll say it. Person, place, or thing. You weren't going to be able to learn it without this one. You had to have something that came in and really pulled at you in all the ways that you had worked on yourself to get you to a point to see why it is that this is no longer a match for you, why this is no longer a part of your immediate circle. What is the plot behind the trickery? What is the plot behind the trickery? Confusion. Eight of Swords. Libra had this too. The plot behind the trickery here with this Eight of Swords energy was to be able for you to see how you have a choice in what you get entrapped in and what you don't want to be entrapped in. Knowing when to walk away type of energy before it's too late kind of thing. Because that's what I feel like is what happened here. Is you had a situation that wasn't a good alignment that really pulled at everything that you worked on. It tried to entrap you with its games. Specifically, it could have been its mental games, its mind games. But you were able to get out of that. You weren't able to stay in whatever kind of schemes that they were trying to set up. What is the clarity card, or what is the plot behind vanity? For the deception to be exposed. That the tyrant would have to walk away. Because they weren't the wish fulfillment. And giving yourself another choice, another way to go, another way to invest in when it comes to what you want, specifically when it comes to your stability. This was a big lesson here. You may not feel it because it still kind of stings a little, but that's what it wants. You have a King of Wands energy here. Oh, King of Wands look good. King of Wands could smell good. King of Wands could have the accessories that be shining. But a King of Wands in reverse is a tyrant. They're bullies. They're forcers. This is a narcissistic one who's really stuck on themselves in a sense. This is somebody who can't even be truthful with themselves. Let's face it. This person wanted to take you through their hell, and you didn't allow it. That is what you need to see when it comes to forgiveness. reinvesting in yourself, reinvesting in the strength it took not to fall for this entrapment. Because that entrapment can come at a lot of different things. A lot of different things. Baby mama, baby daddy kind of thing. It could also be leading to where you invest in something that you can't get out of. It ends up being a long-term thing that ends up being a black hole for your finances and stuff like that. Whatever it wasn't able to entrap you. You have to see that. You have to see that. And forgive to set yourself free. Forgive them. Forgive them so that you can forgive you. This one is so ignorant. This one lies to themselves. They lie to others. They don't care. They don't care who they hurt, how much cups, how many drinks that they're in, and getting the beer balls to sit there and go try and make moves on somebody else, because whatever this person is putting you through, they're really insecure. Just know that. If they weren't insecure, then they wouldn't have put you through so much. I don't see that this person is going to make an appearance back. I don't see that. This person's more stuck on the failure. If anything, they're more stuck on the failure. And when you get somebody who's stuck like that, then they're going to trying to prove themselves to everyone else. So honestly, this person, you could still be on the back burner when it comes to their mind, but this person has a vast wandering. I don't mean to make you sound like you're not as important, but I feel like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They could have 8 others involved in this. 8 others that they were putting through this same thing, either at the same time or very close around the same time. There's a few others that they were doing this too. So just know that, again, this doesn't make you any less special. This is said to show how much insecurity that this person has. They have a lot of insecurity here. So let's go ahead and ask for Aquarius. What is the past self advice? Past self advice. Could have been something that was strung out for many years too. So past self advice. Envy in reverse. Financial constraints. And a woman holding a coin in reverse. It wasn't that you weren't good enough for it wasn't that you wasn't good enough for them. It's the fact that they're not good enough for you. I need you to understand that. Because no matter what, this one, because it comes in as a king of coins, so this is somebody who's established in whatever they're doing, could have a little extra money compared to a normal person. But when you compare currency, that kind of currency, then yes, they have more. But when you compare the currency of love and compassion and empathy for others, you have more. Yeah, they may have more coin currency, but you have more stability. You have to see that. You have to see that. Something that you need to work on. Alright, what is the present self advice? Present self advice. Present self advice. Patience. You need to be patient right now. Very patient, Aquarius. Alright, so present self. We have 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel. 3rd chakra, Archangel Camille. Then we have hostilities in reverse. Action in reverse. The truth shall set you free. But you need to take action. You need to take action. To protect yourself doesn't mean that you have to be going in and be hostile to others. A lot of times we want to create a real big defense, let them know that they're not allowed. But I feel like here with this higher kind of conscious connection we have with this, the 7th chakra, and then we have this 3rd chakra, which is our solar plexus energy, our self-power, our confidence, our self-discipline. But it also talks about insecurity, lack of control, low self-esteem. I really feel like there is something very special about you. There is something very special about you. And whoever it was, they couldn't play you. They could not play you. The whole thing is we don't have to still be bitter with them. We can actually celebrate. We can honor the fact that we passed this level, because they say, you know what, a lot of dark energies will work through others to try and get to us. Something was here. Something was trying to get to you. But you didn't fall for it. You didn't fall for it, even though you didn't feel like maybe at the time when everything was at its worst that you had these guided energies around you. But you did. You very much so did. And you were sitting here trying to follow the higher guidance when it came to how to handle this situation. Keep it up. Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. You could be facing a situation where you may have to deal with them. They could be in a common area that you're in. Again, you don't have to be hostile with it, holding that, wanting to act out or anything like that. Lets everyone know that you're holding a grudge, that you're still hanging on to the pain. If anything, that should let yourself know that forgiveness is really needed. Alright, what is the future self advice for Aquarius? Future self advice. Ooh, we have a lot of angels coming out. So future self advice is we have the 6th chakra, Archangel Metatron. Time to see your transformation that you had when you sat here and you walked away from this situation to go and embark. May have turned your world upside down, made you question how much strength you actually had. It may have given you a certain point in your life where being strong was the only option you had to get through it. Stop seeing it for, you know, there was something wrong with you, something you did. No, it was just the way this person was. And it's time. For me, it's time to stop really over-focusing on it. Over-focusing how to avoid it is what's actually holding you back, Aquarius. When you over-focus on how to avoid something, you're still focusing on it. You're still holding on again to those negative emotions, how can we let that focus go so that we can blossom, so that we can still grow? Because when we over focus on something, even trying to avoid something, we're taking away from other things that we could be focusing on that could help strengthen us. I mean, it could be with this part of your journey, this is all she wrote for this situation. But it only comes to this is all she wrote when you give it permission for it to be just that, the end. I'm not saying you have to go be best friends with whatever this is because obviously they're going to try and pop up probably at some point. You don't have to be bitter. You don't have to be hateful. I'm not saying you have to be their best friend. But what is suggested is using forgiveness. Forgiveness so that you can breathe easily again. Forgiveness so that this isn't the thing that you focus on. If you bump into them or whatever it is, it's not something that's rocking your boat for 2 weeks afterwards. It's something that you can be able to put down and be able to go do whatever you need to do, kind of thing. All right, Aquariuses, this is gonna conclude it. Thank you so much for your time, your energy, and your patience. And don't forget to thank your angels, ancestors, and spirit guides, as well as divine and universal energy for coming on in and helping out with these positive messages. And I hope that you have a most wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.